Today we're going to take a look at the Joyalens JL249MS Plus 10.1-inch biological microscope. This scope was sent to me for review by the manufacturer. For even more details, including purchase links, check out the video description. This is not going to be an unboxing video, but I do want to mention that the equipment arrived nicely packaged and well insulated against routine shipping and handling hazards. Assembly was relatively straightforward, and the included instructions were easy to follow. Everything that you need to operate the microscope is included. However, you will have to provide your own batteries if you choose to use the remote. These interlocking panels were labeled left and right, which made putting them together easy, and they have plenty of compartments for storage. It comes with 3 lenses allowing magnification from 18 all the way up to 2040x. Just keep in mind that things in the higher range will likely require a slide for viewing, and working distance will be reduced the higher you go. On the back side, we have a microSD card slot, power supply connection, and an HDMI mini output for use with the included cable. Regarding the HDMI output signal, this will require a real FHD 1080p HDMI monitor. I had an older monitor that only supports 720 and it did not display an image when I connected it. Also, when the cable is plugged in, the microscope's native display will be disabled, so it's basically one or the other and not both. The signal may also take a few seconds to be recognized. Switching out the lenses is simple, just a couple screws on either side and then you can swap them out. This will of course require that you adjust the height of the microscope, which is also fairly easy as there's a single knob that can be loosened for this adjustment. For my purposes, the lens labeled L works best as it has a working distance of 90 to 300 millimeters, or roughly 3.5 inches up to just under 12. The display itself has quite a bit of range as far as adjusting the angle upward. There's a single power cord that's used to either illuminate the lens holder or turn on the attached LED lights. If you have any trouble finding the plug, just angle the whole scope forward for easier access. I did find the remote very useful for zooming in because, as you might imagine, any movement under the scope during high magnification is vastly exaggerated. There are all sorts of effects built into this, like negative, grayscale, inverted, and so on, that, while I don't see myself using, you might find them useful. One of the things about this scope that I really like, which it has over its predecessors, is that you can adjust the position of your lens out far enough so that it's possible to fit pretty much any type of motherboard underneath it, including this game console motherboard right here. So there's no more of running into the back end of the stand. You can pretty much view anything on this board. Now for the important question, at least for me: how does micro soldering work underneath this scope? Well, the basics aren't as bad as you might imagine, but I wanted to make this a little more challenging, so let's see if we can remove and replace one of the smallest components that you're likely to ever find on an iPhone logic board. This is a 01005 SMD capacitor, and it is extremely small. For scale, that piece on the left is the pointed end of a straight pin. Okay, we got it off. Now, how about reattaching? With a little help from some flux and surface tension, yes, I can say that working on some of the smallest components is technically possible. Overall, this is a great inspection scope. It also offers a powerful range of magnification, and I thought that it was pretty cool to be able to view slides, although that's more of an entertainment factor for me. Using any type of LCD panel scope does mean that you will lack depth perspective, but I didn't find that to be a deal breaker. It is nice to have built-in recording along with HDMI and USB outputs, and while basic soldering should be a breeze with this microscope, I think that the really small stuff might take a lot of practice, but it definitely can be done.